Success isn't about the end result, it's about what you learn along the way. A woman is never sexier than when she is comfortable in her clothes. Things that came before, people and things and experiences, that does mean something to me. It doesn't mean I don't embrace the new, but I don't forget the past, either. Don't be afraid to take time to learn. It's good to work for other people. I worked for others for 20 years. They paid me to learn. I do speak Mandarin, and I also relate to the hunger that China has for culture and architecture and style. I love sportswear in my own weird way. Fashion is such a personal journey for me. I'm much more of a girl that's a t-shirt, legging, layering kind of thing, and outerwear. My mother was extremely controlled, sort of flawless, and I always tend to be a bit more hippie. I always see where I didn't do things the right way. I only see the heavy lifting. That's a bit of my wisdom, if you want to call it that. Brides today are increasingly sensitive to the tastes, feelings, and finances of their attendants. Although in skating you compete with other people, anyone who achieves a certain level of success is first and foremost competing against themselves. And for me, the idea that I could always do better, learn more, learn faster, is something that came from skating. People get very trapped where they are. When they hear fashion, they get intimidated, particularly at the upper end because it's so elitist. I see myself as a true modernist. Even when I do a traditional gown, I give it a modern twist. I go to the past for research. I need to know what came before so I can break the rules. It's hard to juggle being a business person with being a creative person. You have to organize yourself. PR needs me for PR, and the licensing division needs me for licensing. The bridal people need me for bridal. I started at the very highest level, so the upper end is something I know very well. I know it instinctively. But all the years I was designing, it frustrated me that I could reach so few women. I don't live through my kids, but I do know what will happen in life, and I just want them well prepared. I like the gritty pots of fashion, the design, the studio, the pictures. Fashion offers no greater challenge than finding what works for a night without looking like you are wearing a costume. Although in skating you compete with other people, anyone who achieves a certain level of success is first and foremost competing against themselves. And for me, the idea that I could always do better, learn more, learn faster, is something that came from skating. But I carried that with me for the rest of my life. I'm only waiting for Lindsay Lohan's fashion collection to come out. 10 years from now, there may be no real designers left. I am not the sort of woman who would wear high heels with a bathing suit. Let's get that straight right now. Figure skating has been a great influence for me. I took dance at the School of American Ballet, which helped my own skating. And whether you are a skater or a dancer, without sounding narcissistic, it is all about looking in the mirror. Let's be realistic. How many people are buying a $2,000 skirt? I love to design things that people can actually buy. I'm staggered by what a boot costs today. Design is about point of view, and there should be some sort of woman or lifestyle or attitude in one's head as a designer. So my being able to reach the masses was something that meant a great deal to me, especially for women who could never wear Vera Wang. It takes tremendous will to compete in any athletic endeavor, so it meant going to bed early and getting my homework done in advance. I had to sacrifice things, like a social life, to be a skater at 15. But I loved skating so much that it was worth everything to me. When I decided to get married at 40, I couldn't find a dress with the modernity or sophistication I wanted. That's when I saw the opportunity for a wedding gown business. My bedroom is my sanctuary. It's like a refuge, and it's where I do a fair amount of designing, at least conceptually. The key is falling in love with something, anything. If your heart's attached to it, then your mind will be attached to it. As the mother of 2 daughters, I have great respect for women. And I don't ever want to lose that. When I design a wedding dress with a bustle, it has to be one the bride can dance in. I love the idea that something is practical and still looks great. I wear Rick Owens t-shirts to bed. They are like my thermals, since I sleep with the room at near freezing temperatures, like a meat locker. All I did my first year at Vogue was Xerox. I'm not really a girl who likes to go out to lunch or cocktails or store openings. Design is about point of view, and there should be some sort of woman or lifestyle or attitude in one's head as a designer. My evening really begins when I take a long, hot bath. I light a candle, and I turn on the news and try to catch up. It's when I can breathe from the day to the night, and that means a lot to me. I've always tried to push myself technically and to push myself visually. That's been part of the journey. I love a black wedding dress. My mother is the reason I'm in fashion. She worshipped it. Unfortunately, she infected me. I work with structure, but I go outside the box and give it my own spin. I adore the challenge of creating truly modern clothes, where a woman's personality and sense of style are realized. The funny thing is that I'm the girl who no one sees at the beach. Ask anyone who's traveled with me. Normally, I'm in so many layers. I look like Lawrence of Arabia. There was no relationship between a wedding dress and fashion. There was no good taste, either. I realized that I could make an impression in terms of changing and readdressing the whole industry of bridal. I do think I know more about clothes than any 500 designers, because there's nothing like wearing them. You buy them, you study them, and you start to understand how they're crafted. All those years of skating and dancing have carried over. I can't design anything without thinking of how a woman's body will look and move when she's wearing it. I was the girl who nobody thought would ever get married. I was going to be a fashion nun the rest of my life. There are generations of them, those fashion nuns, living, eating, breathing clothes. It's for all the women who embrace my aesthetic, but can't afford a Vera Wang dress. If women can get anything out of it, a little bit of me or a lot of me, that's what's important. New York for me is about work. If LA were to become a West Coast version of that, I'd shoot myself. The climate, the lifestyle, it really fits as the yin to my New York yang. I've been designing since I was 8. I started sketching dresses I could wear when skating. I was always involved in all aspects of skating, not just the technique, the choreography, the music, but the visual aspects, too, what I should wear. It is horrible to say, but I was stigmatized by being a bridal designer for a long time. I am amazed I have been able to move beyond it. I had really all but given up trying, but I did it because it was my lifelong dream. My normal routine is pretty much putting out fires all day. I adore the challenge of creating truly modern clothes, where a woman's personality and sense of self are revealed. I want people to see the dress, but focus on the woman. Fashion to me has become very disposable. I wanted to get back to craft, to clothes that could last. It's a remarkable exercise to sit and look at your own work over the years. The great thing about having a pool in LA is that I can use it year-round. And since I've always been an athlete, staying fit is very important. I see myself as an arbiter of taste. I was a total fashion insider who became an outsider when I did bridal. I wanted to define the vocabulary of a wedding both visually and intellectually. The book is about more than weddings or wedding dresses. It's a metaphor for women's lives, their creativity. To me, eyewear goes way beyond being a prescription. It's like makeup. It's the most incredible accessory. or the color of lenses can change your whole appearance. It's hard to balance everything. It's always challenging. I love to design things that people can actually buy. I'm staggered by what a boot costs today.